What's up, everybody? Good morning. Oh, you can. They brought the invite people back in thing. That's awesome. For a while, you could like do side by side stuff, and for some reason it went away. I'm not really sure why. But apparently we could do it again. So if somebody wants to come on here and join me, they frickin' can. So that's fun. Good morning, Warren. So this is day 2 of just being committed. Like every day, gotta show up, gotta do it for first coffee. For two main reasons. One, I'm doing the 100 days of TED Talks, and one of the ones in this past week is the happy secret to better work or something like that. And it goes through these things that these 5 or 6 things that show you, or kind of like scientifically proven, whatever, to kind of increase your happiness, right? Happiness doesn't come from doing a bunch of work and then someday you'll be happy, right? Like the real secret is to cultivate that happiness now. It actually creates better work. It's a whole argument behind that. And it's like journaling and self-reflection and gratitude, right? And all the stuff that I wasn't really committed to doing, but have done and really benefited from. So anyway, I was like, well, obviously I have to bring the first coffee thing back, and people are already starting to throw some gratitudes in the comments, and thank you so much for that. That is fucking fantastic. And I wanted to keep doing the stoicism thing just because it really is, this for me anyway, right? Like this is kind of like journaling. The rest of the 100-day stuff, all the articles, is like journaling times 100, pun intended. But the self-reflection that you get just from running through one of these ideas a day, like I was noticing that I was starting to I've been kind of hearkening back to these things in really positive ways from the daily Stoic stuff. So anyway, let's fucking drink some coffee. I guess for me this morning, I'm really grateful that even though I sort of bit off a giant chunk in the effort to start thinking about this as a much bigger project, as far as doing the 6 now 100-day challenges at once. I wanted to see this morning, what it would feel like to try to make sure that I could get it all done before 9:30, and I think I'm going to. Of course, 9:30, because we have coffee that goes on YouTube at 10, 3 days a week. So I wanted to do that, and it worked. So I've got that's working out pretty good. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that all of you guys have shown up here this morning. That's really cool. And I'm really, 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 really grateful that, again, nothing is certain until it's done. But I'm starting to feel really confident that we're going to be able to get Schipul back up and running before too long. Bob, thanks for checking in, man. Keith said bullet journal is journaling for peeps who don't journal. I like it. Well, I was doing the 5-minute journal for a while as well, right? Which was the kind of progenitor of goals and gratitude, where because it suggests 3 things you are grateful for, 3 things you want to accomplish that day. And we actually had some people listing out 3 things. Kathy Brinkman was listing out the actual goals part of the goals and gratitude thing on here yesterday, and that is entirely okay with me too. By the time I get here in the morning, I plan on having most of the 3 things I need to get done every day already done. So that's fun. Although there will be others. Anyway, kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, I'm really grateful that Schipul is I think going to live again, which would be good. More coffee. Seriously, I've been blasting away at stuff since 5:30 this morning, and this is literally my first coffee. and it is good. So what are some other things that are going on today? Yesterday, again, was the first day that I started doing, the extra 4. So now there's like 6 total challenges that I'm doing. Corey Alco, what's going on, buddy? In the process of sort of figuring out how that's going to work. I just saw it. I'm just going to stop, actually, because Warren's comment I just really liked. I'm grateful for still being able to walk. New love and the Canadian government. I mean, I've been watching the Canadian government handle this COVID stuff and people, like helping people, a fair amount. And it's really jarring. The contrast is stark, let's put it that way. So anyway, doing all that stuff yesterday, I started a email subscriber list. You can't subscribe to mails. That's not That's not how this particular thing works. And it's basically, okay, here's the update, right? Because I'm doing so many of them now that if people want to sort of keep track of the whole thing, I just wanted to provide that for them. And we have the Patreon page for all of this as well. We actually have 4 patrons now, which is really cool. Thank you to those of you that have become patrons, even for $1. It's ridiculously validating. So patrons and anyone on the email subscription list are just going to get a daily update of what's going on with this process. And honestly, I think it's worth being on. I've been tracking it myself, and again, patrons are going to get the weekly update as well, which is going to have the resources that I cite during the week are going to be listed in its own section in that email, and that's like TED Talks that are amazing. Obviously, they're easy to find in those articles, but even in those articles, I'm usually adding at least one podcast or one book that is sort of ties in that is connected to it. So it's good stuff. So anyone that wants on that email list, just maybe fire your email address in the thing here. And I think I can add you to MailChimp, or it probably makes more sense to just give people the link. Anyway, so I started that. I've never really ran an email list before, so I don't really know what that's going to be like. So we'll have to see. Anyways, let's do some daily Stoic, shall we? After more coffee. Yeah, fucking good shit. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. If anyone can prove and show to me that I think and act in error, I will gladly change it. For I seek the truth, by which no one has ever been harmed. The one who is harmed is the one who abides in deceit and ignorance. Marcus Aurelius. This is such a good one. I've been talking about, I can't remember who I was talking to. It was somebody just recently. I think it was Kurt, actually. That I like having strong opinions weakly held. So what that means is, when I have an opinion, when I think something is the truth, I will defend it ruthlessly. But if you could show me evidence and prove that I'm wrong, I will change that opinion or that belief instantaneously. Every time. Like, this is something that it is an organizing principle that I have that is just fucking mandatory. And it's always served me well. Someone once attempted to argue with philosopher Cicero by quoting something he had said or written. This person claimed Cicero was saying one thing now, but had believed something different in the past. His response: I live from one day to the next. If something strikes me as probable, I say it. And that is how, unlike everyone else, I remain a free agent. No one should be ashamed at changing his mind. That's what the mind is for. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. Nice, Emerson said. Adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines. That's why we go to such lengths to learn and expose ourselves to wisdom. It would be embarrassing if we didn't end up finding out we were wrong in the past. Remember, you're a free agent. When someone points out a legitimate flaw in your belief or in your actions, they're not criticizing you. They're presenting a better alternative. Accept it. Yeah, exactly, Deb. When you're wrong, own it, learn, and grow from it. Amen. It took a while for Greg to see this, but he brings up every once in a while that he knows that I actually love being wrong, legitimately. It means I'm learning. It's good. It's good. But that's the other thing. The patrons are getting now is the MP3s. And I mean, most of you guys just kind of hang out on Facebook and stuff like that anyway. So, because all the after this, I got to do the daily song or whatever. I don't really know what to do yet. Yesterday, I did Tennessee whiskey, and the way that I recorded it, I managed to get video and MP3 from it, which was pretty cool, using Zoom. And so patrons are actually going to get free downloadable MP3s of every tune that I do. And that's going to be $30 a month. Ish. So that's crazy. Yep. It's funny, I'm still sort of intimidated by the sort of the commitments that I've sort of poured on. But it's very conceivable that I could be completely finished by 9:30 every day. Awesome, Casey. Casey just said I have to go to work today. Grateful because only a handful of people there. It's a huge space. Huge place. Extensive prevention procedures in place. That's very good to know. I am happy about that. It's good. All right, guys. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna record a song and do some posts and finish up and probably go ice my back, which is still pissed off. But it's getting better. If you're not in the 100 days group yet, you're more than welcome to join us there. We got a bunch of people doing their own thing, from taking a moment for themselves to getting back into macro photography the way that Deb has always wanted to do, and I don't know, it's just really good to see. Yep. And again, hashtag coffee will be on YouTube at 10 like normal. We'll share that back here in case anyone wants to hop over there. And we'll just keep on keeping on. It's early days, but for the 100 days thing, but I don't think there's a question that it's going to be a huge game changer for this weirdo anyway.